what could old shorts really do? They can file they can file a case to terminate their contract. So it's the same contract termination case that a lot of other idols are filing, a lot of other groups. Um, the most famous of all of them is actually TVXQ. I don't know if you know them, but they were once upon a time the most popular boy band in Korea and in Japan. They actually were, if you look at actual sales, they are the most popular boy band. They were way more popular than Big Bang. Um, and in a way they broke more boundaries than Big Bang because they were, along with Boa, they were actually the ones that broke the Japanese market, and that, as you know, has been instrumental to many other boy band and girl groups. So anyway, they sued SM Entertainment, and three of the members, so there were five members, three of the members actually sued SM Entertainment. And so in the end, what happened was that, so they were complaining about slave contract because their contract was 15 years. Wow. Which at that time was ordinary. Apparently it was a normal, that's how long their contracts were. So 15 years. Because of that case, there was a new regulation that was put in place. A regulation was put in place, and they said, and the maximum number of years for an initial contract is 7 years, and then they can just renew for another, they can do an automatic renewal for 3 years, which equates to 10. But the first contract should be 7, so that's the limit, and it was because of the TVXQ case, because it was 15 years. Now, that is a different conversation altogether. The point is that they sued. The result, the court stated that they can, the court said you can't just break free from a contract. Like, you sign the contract, you can't just break free from it. So what happened was that they were allowed to leave SM Entertainment, but they had to pay the penalty to SM Entertainment. They didn't have the money, so they were giving SM Entertainment about 20% of their income on a monthly basis. 20% of their income actually goes to SM Entertainment until they were able to pay it off. So, and it took them a long time before they could pay it off. And this is a popular group. I mean, even though they broke from away from TVXQ and they became JYJ, they were still very popular. But it still took them, so, and they were still big in Japan. They were still releasing albums, they were still doing concerts, although they weren't doing any mainstream media appearances because they were informally blacklisted by SM Entertainment. But they were still a big group, very successful, and but it still took them about 15 years to pay off their contract, and it was only recently that they started being allowed to come into TV shows. So there were consequences with what they did, but that is what happened, and that is a recourse that New Jeans, that old shorts can actually pursue. They can sue. Outside of them, who else sued? 50/50 sued, and as we know, the court sided with the company, with Attract. The only one, who is this? There is this group, Momoland. Momoland, I think. Momoland sued their company, and I think they're the only one that managed to sever their ties from the company without paying a fine, but that was because they were able to prove abuse. So it is not unprecedented for the contract to be totally terminated without fine, but theirs, it was totally, it was they had all the evidence, basically physical evidence, to prove that they were being abused. Didn't somebody from SM recently who left the company? There were several who left the company. Of course, many idols from EXO actually left. Tao, who's this guy? Chris, he went to jail for raping a woman. He was the leader of EXO China. So yeah, there were several who left the company. So SM Entertainment is probably the most sued company, but they are also the one with the most amount of artists. So I just wonder if if they burn too many bridges with fans to go somewhere else. New Jeans. Um, will they be able to go somewhere else if if and I've said this before, there are many other idols who actually managed to find their own management. I mean, even 50-50, the three members who left, one of them actually came back to Attract, but the other three who left found their own agency, their own company. They're not selling as well, but they're still selling. And Songri still has a fan base, even after being proven that he abused women. So, and I mean, Yang Suk, for all of the things that he has done, he's also a criminal, and he still manages to come back to the industry. I think, and New Jeans is nowhere near. They didn't do anything as like critical as the crimes of Songri or whoever. So I think it's not entirely impossible for them to be able to make a comeback. What I do think, though, what I personally think, my opinion is that many of the people that are supporting them now and are claiming to be fans of New Jeans aren't actually fans. They're actually haters of Hybe. And so because hi Phaedra, because because this is a chance for them to hate on Hybe, then they're making it appear as if they are fans of New Jeans. So that is just my theory. But I do think they still have a strong fan base, and after, if they go on their own and leave Hype, they will still be able to make a solid career. Whether or not they can become what they could become if they stay with Hype and everything is peachy and sweet, I don't think so, because you do need the network of Hype for them to be able to achieve their goals. So let's see.